Hey, I'm Darren from the band Powderfinger, and we're at Sunset Sound Studios. This is where we're recording our 6th album. It's almost finished. It's so close, but we'll have a look around the studio. We've got a bit of a rough jam space here. Yeah, it's a good place to come and, muck around for ideas and see what you can come up with.
G'day there, I'm Ian from Powderfinger. I play guitar.
We've got a load of amps here. Our producer Rob Schnapp has generously, for a small fee, bought in a bunch of his own equipment. Classic Vox over there, which just always gets used. I mean, if you're ever in trouble for a sound, this is a guy to kind of bring the goods.
That's called blues.
This is the control room. Mixing console, Rob Schnapp over there, Graham, Bernard.
Powderfinger in 25 words or less. We are Australian, formed this lineup in 1992, so we've been together for 15 years or 16 years.
We toured Australia for about, maybe 4 years in a van. We used to buy a van every 6 months.
And blow them up.
And they'd blow up after 6 months of travel. After about 3 or 4 years, we started getting played on the radio, and since then things have sort of slowly been on the up for us.
Things have changed a lot for us in the last few years, so we're looking forward to... We had a break for a couple of years, and we're looking forward to getting back into it. The main reason that we ended up coming to LA to record, have a change of environment. We've always recorded in Australia before.
This has become a very important part of the studio process. It's the big gun.
Musically, it took a while to get momentum again, because we didn't know what we wanted to do. And in some ways, even though we'd nearly finished our record, we're kind of still searching. It's been very unfocused. I don't mean that in a negative way. In the past, we've always been so determined to make a particular type of record, and we'd go, okay, this is the parameters in which the songs will fit. And if they're even slightly outside that, then they're gone. Whereas this time, we kind of just said, whatever happens, happens.
We sort of had a fair idea of what we didn't want to do. Didn't want to go down the Vulture Street record again.
Steer away from the ballsy, macho sound that our last record was.
And Bernard had released a record in that year off, and we sort of wanted to steer away from that as well. So
he's got a massive ego now.
And we call him Sir. He asked me to call him Sir now.
It started as a bit of a... We were mucking around with that in the band room for ages, and then it ended up...
We've never gone into the studio and just written in there. There's 5 different opinions about how things should go, and that makes it quite a laborious process sometimes. But it usually makes for really varied ideas.
You have to treat each other with a certain amount of respect. You got to be like brothers.
There's a lot on the road to making a record. Almost like hurdles you have to get over to get to a better idea. Even if you work for a week on a song and it doesn't end up working, there's got to be something in there that you've learned.
I love the piano. So we spend a bit of time out here writing new songs or working on old songs, sort of thing.
There's a truth begging to be told as the blues grab and take a hold.
Ben Montench, his name was. He plays with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and he's done heaps of stuff with everyone, Dylan and Springsteen, all that. He's like a piano player. He was in here about 2 weeks ago just tearing this thing up. It was great. I think it was one of the best days we've had in the studio.
At one point he said, "So how long have you guys been together?" And I said, "Oh, about 15 years. And he's looked at me and went, "Good stuff." And it was that he looked at us with this understanding of, I know how much you've gone through, mate, and it's really hard, and I totally respect you for it. So, because they've been together for 25 years, so I imagine a lot of young bands don't realise that keeping it together is actually one of the hardest parts of being in a band, and it takes heaps of work.
It's one of the strengths of our band is not necessarily big, great production ideas or anything. It's just playing together.
Go over here. You can see potential album titles up on the wall there. Is it Flea you're looking for? It's been quite popular.
Dragging through my days that I spend trying to fill a space.
There's pressure on us that comes from within to try and do things better, not to sell more records or any of that sort of stuff.
Slowly creeping back. Now you're at home.
Powderfinger live show in the past were really quite big and dramatic and all that sort of stuff, so the show kind of had to match the music in that sense. Now, because the music's a bit more subtle, the show will probably go that way as well. Some performers claim that they give 100% of themselves for the whole show. I think about if I left the iron on when I'm in the middle of a song, sometimes that's the reality. As long as you've focused as much of your energy as you can into that show, then that's what's a successful show.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that's it. That's it for me.
That's it for me.